Moving into the stretch. And now they're picking up speed. Here they come. They're off on the outside. Gallant Gimbal left hard. On the inside, Jen's Jewel is there. In between horses, Silent Revenge. Gallant Gimbal on a short lead. Along the rail, it's Jen's Jewel. Looking to tuck in third, Silent Revenge. A length back to Stormulator, racing in fourth. 2 lengths back to Lit a Guy, racing in fifth. In behind him, Midnight Society. Then comes Look Max, your trailer, Park Lane Express. They're off the turn and by the quarter. No time recorded. And your leader is Gallant Gimbal by 2 1/4. Tony Morgan, Gallant Gimbal. They lead the way on the outside. Stormulator with an early move. Stormulator on the outside, Gallant Gimbal on the inside. Jen's Jewel is right there in third, a length back to Silent Revenge, racing in fourth. 4 lengths back to Little Guy, racing in fifth. Midnight Society, Look Max, and now on the move from last, Park Lane Express. They race for the half. Gallant Gimbal keeps the lead. On the outside, it's Stormulator. They race into the far turn. Gallant Gimbal leads the way, a length and a quarter on the inside. Jen's Jewel right in behind Stormulator. Another move first over in third. On the outside, Silent Revenge racing in fourth. Lit a Guy saves ground in fifth. Moving up is Park Lane Express for Dale Heitman. They turn for home. Gallant Gimbal, the one to catch. They're all in behind Gallant Gimbal. He leads the way for Morgan by 2 1/2 and now by 3. Inside the quarter pole, Gallant Gimbal leads the way. Jen's Jewel racing second. Silent Revenge picks up the leaders in third from far back. Here comes Look Max. He's gathering up momentum and gobbling up ground. Down the stretch, Gallant Gimbal on a short lead. Here's Look Max and Dave McGee. Gallant Gimbal, Morgan going to work. Here comes Look Max. Look Max on the inside. Gallant Gimbal still there. On the inside, Look Max and Silent Revenge. Top of the stretch. Field of 10. Now take their positions in behind the starting gate. Here they come. They're off. Prairieland Pride in the middle. Left well for Jacobs. Far outside, here's Broadway Locomotion. Prairieland Pride leads the way. Broadway Locomotion quickly up to challenge and now take command. Prairieland Pride back to second. Nice and Proud is third. A length back to Kim Can racing in fourth. Janimal is away in fifth. Right in behind Janimal, Lake Hill Steve. Then a length back to Anxious Debonair. Da Bear, your 2 trailers. Park Lane and Goose on Fire off to quarter, 27-2. They race up the backstretch. Broadway Locomotion shows the way by 2 over Prairieland Pride. 2 lengths back to Nice and Proud racing third. In fourth as they race for the half is Kim Can and Neil Coleman. On the outside now moving up in fifth is Janimal. Lake Hill Steve will follow up that live cover. Also into the flow, Anxious Debonair and Da Bear. Park Lane Gem saves ground. Goose on Fire, Broadway Locomotion takes him by the half, 57-4. 30 2/4 for Broadway Locomotion, and now Janimal on the outside for McGee will take the lead. Janimal now leads the way, a length and a half, 3/8 to go. Broadway Locomotion is back to second. Lake Hill Steve on the outside third. Moving up in fourth, Anxious Debonair. Da Bear still yet to make his move. They turn for home. Your leader is Janimal by 2 1/2. Broadway Locomotion has to do more racing in second. 3/4, 127. It's Janimal, your leader by 2. Broadway Locomotion, game on the inside from far back. Here comes Da Bear down the stretch. Janimal leads. Da Bear is charging. Janimal on a short lead. Here's Da Bear. Da Bear going right on by for Dean McGee. Scores the easy victory. Janimal salvages second. Nice and Proud up for third. 155-3. Top of the stretch. Here they come. They're off. On the inside, Got by Towner, left aggressively along with Noteworthy Wolf. It's Got by Towner. And now to the top, a length over Noteworthy Wolf racing second. Some kind of tough, 4 lengths back in third. High-Tailed Henry is racing in fourth. A length behind him, Soki's Day. Around the turn, then comes Strutting On. Armbro Copus, Be Home Early, your trailer is Come On Johnny. They're off the turn and by the quarter. Got by Towner takes him by that station, 28-4. They race up the backstretch. Got by Towner leaves, and now driving from the pocket is Noteworthy Wolf. 3 lengths back to Some Kind of Tough, racing in third. High-Tailed Henry is on the move in fourth. Right in behind him, Soki's Day, and now Noteworthy Wolf clears to lead for Heitman. It's Noteworthy Wolf a length over Got by Towner. High-Tailed Henry being rated third. Soki's Day following up live cover in fourth. Strutting On is on the move. On the inside, Some Kind of Tough saves ground. Armbro Copus, Be Home Early, and Come On Johnny, 58-3 for the half. Around the far turn, Noteworthy Wolf, 3 parts of a length. On the outside, it's High-Tailed Henry. Right in behind him, poised for Morgan, is Soki's Day. On the inside, Got by Towner is right there, Strutting On. Armbro Copus is coming on. On the inside, Some Kind of Tough needs racing room. They're in the stretch now with a quarter of a mile to go. It's Noteworthy Wolf on a short lead. On the outside, High-Tailed Henry, relentless with his pressure. Here comes Strutting On for Miller. On the inside, Got by Towner finds a lane and is coming through. An eighth of a mile to pace. Strutting On leads. Here comes Got by Towner. A late move by Soki's Day. Got by Towner on the inside. Strutting On the outside. Strutting On and Got by Towner. Got by Towner may have had the advantage on the inside over Strutting On. Can go either way. That is a photo. Fields in the straight. Picking up speed. Here they come. They're off. Spectacular Tide on the far outside. Left hard for Morgan. In between horses, the New Zealand bred Amazon Prince is there. And on the far outside, here's If Looks Could Kill. Spectacular Tide on a short lead. If Looks Could Kill. Quickly up on the outside to challenge. Spectacular Tide is back to second. 4 lengths back to Amazon Prince. Racing in third. A length and a back to Haunted Heart. Racing in fourth. Hunky Willie is fifth. Timaquan racing in sixth. Feedback is seventh. Then comes Morgan Mill. Ships Enterprise Outlaw Boomer opening quarter a quick 27-1, and now Spectacular Tide at 17-1 takes command, a length and a quarter. If Looks Could Kill, that is, on top at 17-1, a length and a quarter. Spectacular Tide is back to second, 5 lengths back to Amazon Prince. Racing in third, Haunted Heart is racing in fourth. Hunky Willie is underway in fifth, and right in behind him is Timmy Kwan. And Feedback in Morgan Mill, 56-3 into the far turn. If Looks Could Kill, the long shot leads. On the outside, Amazon Prince quickly up to challenge for Anderson. On the outside, Hunky Willie moves into third. Spectacular Tide saves ground in fourth. Top of the stretch, and now Amazon Prince puts ahead in front of It Looks Could Kill. They're in the stretch. Amazon Prince leads the way. If Looks Could Kill, game on the inside. Hunky Willie is racing in third on the far outside. Here comes Feedback, also coming on. Timaquan It's Amazon Prince, your leader. Here comes Feedback. Down the stretch, Amazon Prince under a drive, Feedback on the outside, Hunky Willie in between horses, and now Feedback takes the lead in deep stretch. It's Feedback to the front. Feedback wins it. Amazon Prince second, Hunky Willie third in 154-1. Fields off the turn, and now they're in the stretch. Here they come. They're off on the inside. Micro Plus left hard. Also coming away well, Axelwood. Now they fall in line. All in behind Micro Plus. He leads the way a length and a quarter. Axelwood, the 3-year-old, racing in second. Ken's Bunny is away in third. Chicago Jazz racing fourth. Carolina Matthew is fifth. Then a 2-length break to Sir Richard Eric. Yuppie Society, Ruffy Guru trails. They're off the turn, and they race by the quarter. Micro Plus leads 29 seconds. On the outside, here's Axelwood now to challenge for the lead. Axelwood hard-pressed by Hostetler. Now clears a length over Micro Plus. Ken's Bunny racing in third, and now Ken's Bunny off the rail. 2 lengths back to Chicago Jazz and Pinsky. Another length and a half back to Carolina Matthew. Sir Richard Eric, and driving from last, Ruffy Guru. Yuppie Society trails. They race for the half, and now Ken's Bunny tries the front end. 57-4. Ken's Bunny into the far turn, a length over Axelwood in second. Micro Plus racing up close in third. Chicago Jazz rated by Pinsky. He moves up first over. Right in behind him comes Carolina Matthew. Sir Richard Eric is also on the move. Yuppie Society and Ruffy Guru. Top of the stretch, Ken's Bunny, the one to catch. Your leader is Ken's Bunny, a length on the outside. Here's Chicago Jazz, and now Chicago Jazz in mid-stretch puts ahead in front. Ken's Bunny, game on the inside. He's not finished. Heitman going to work. Ken's Bunny is coming back. On the outside, it's Chicago Jazz. Down the stretch, Ken's Bunny, Chicago Jazz. Here comes Ruffy Guru. Ken's Bunny digging in and holding on for the victory. Field now moves into the stretch. They're picking up speed. Here they come. They're off on the inside, both Styling and Mega Dittos. Left well. They're joined on the outside by Doo-Wop Willoughby. And now Doo-Wop Willoughby will back off and tuck in third behind Mega Dittos and Styling. Mega Dittos leads the way for Harmer, a length and a quarter. Styling right in behind second, a length back to Doo-Wop Willoughby and Hamilton third. Mr. Finale and Miller racing fourth, a length back to Randy Ray. Pacing fifth, the 2 Broadway horses, Broadway Jazz and Broadway Preview. They trail 28 seconds the opening quarter. Your leader up the backstretch, Mega Dittos. Here's Doo-Wop Willoughby with an early move. Doo-Wop Willoughby now takes command. Mega Dittos back to second, Styling third. A length back to Mr. Finale racing in fourth. Broadway Preview is underway to Morgan. On the inside, it's Randy Ray. Broadway Jazz is on the move, but trails. Doo-Wop Willoughby takes him by the half. 57-2, 29-2 quarter for Doo-Wop Willoughby. Into the far turn, he leads the way a length and a quarter. Mega Dittos right in behind second, getting the good trip. On the outside, Broadway Jazz continues to gain in third. Make that Broadway preview on the outside third. On the inside, Styling racing in fourth. Broadway Jazz into the action. Mr. Finale, Randy Reyes shuffled back to the end. They're in the stretch. Doo-Wop Willoughby leads by 2 3/4, 1:27, 3/16 out. Doo-Wop Willoughby leads the way. Mega Didos racing second. Broadway Preview continues to gain third. Here comes Broadway Preview and Morgan. In between horses, Doo-Wop Willoughby. Mega Didos gets through on the inside, and a late move by Styling. Broadway Preview. A big effort to win it. Styling second, close for third in 1:50. Off the turn. Now they're in the stretch. Here they come. They're off. In between horses, Ruffian Dancer showing the early foot on the far outside. Here's Oliver G. Slim. On the inside, Save for a Rainy Day now comes through. Ruffian Dancer. Brian Pinsky on a short lead. Oliver G. Slim pulls up even, and now Oliver G. Slim takes the lead. Into the club turn, Ruffian Dancer. Still there on the inside, Save for a Rainy Day racing third. Broadway Mariah's fourth, opening quarter 27-3. And then a gap of 2 to Canned Cam, racing in fifth. A length and a half back to Jeffrey's Pet in sixth. 2 lengths back to Sycott, racing in seventh. Stumptown Boy. Done Got Lucky. They're out of the 3/8. The 3-year-old Oliver G. Slim leads the way for Morgan, a length over Ruffian Dancer second. Save for a Rainy Day third. Broadway Mariah racing in fourth. On the outside, moving up without the aid of cover is Sycott, 57 4/2. Oliver G. Slim leads by 2. Ruffian Dancer right in behind second. Now on the outside, Save for a Rainy Day bids third. Picking up cover is Sycott. Broadway Mariah saves ground. Then a gap to Canned Cam. On the outside, it's Done Got Lucky. They turn for home. Oliver G. Slim, the one to catch. They're all in behind the 3-year-old Oliver G. Slim as he leads the way by 2. Save for a Rainy Day second, 3/4, 1:26-2. They're in mid-stretch, and now Oliver G. Slim turning on the heat, opening up the lead by 4. Sycott takes over second. Ruffian Dancer on the inside. A late move by Broadway Mariah. Oliver G. Slim leads Sycott and Broadway Mariah. Oliver G. Slim wins it at 1:54. Broadway Mariah and Sycott third. Fields off the turn. They move into the stretch. Take their positions in behind the starting gate. And here they come. They're off. Columbia Nipper used aggressively early on, and Anderson sends them right to the top. In between horses, Lumber Hanover's there. In a Blaze is 3 off the rail. It's a battle for the lead on the inside. Columbia Nipper. In between horses, Lumber Hanover. And now In a Blaze will take back as they curve around the turn. All in Line is away in fourth. A length back to Sportsman. Racing in fifth. Opening quarter, 27 seconds. Fast pace up the backside. Your leader is Lumber Hanover. 3 parts of a length, and now In a Blaze. Used aggressively early. Will now clear to lead over Lumber Hanover. Columbia Nipper is with the leaders in third. All in Line, 4 lengths off the top in fourth. Sportsman racing in fifth. 4 lengths back to Awesome Dude, Dr. Franjak, and Regal Stance. In a Blaze by by the half. 56 and 1 in a blaze leads the way. Lumber Hanover right in behind, and now Columbia Nipper is off the cones for Anderson. Here he comes right in behind him, all in line. Follows up that live cover. Sportsman's on the outside, third over. On the inside, it's Awesome Dude. Top of the stretch, Columbia Nipper on the outside. Now attacks for Anderson and takes the lead. In a blaze is back to second. Columbia Nipper opens up the lead by 3/4, 125 and 3. 3/16 out. It's Columbia Nipper leading the way. He opens up the lead by 4. All in line. Racing second. In a blaze. Racing third. Rallying up on the far outside. Here comes Dr. Franjak in deep stretch. It's all Columbia Nipper. Here's the line. Columbia Nipper all in line. Close for third. 152 and 3. Kimberly Malma, report to security at once. Thank you. The stretch. Here they come. They're off far outside. Tough Tank left hard in between horses. Here's Spend a Dollar along with High Five Bluegrass. It's Tough Tank under the wire for the first time. Your leader a length. High Five Bluegrass now takes a seat in behind. Second a length back to Spend a Dollar. Racing in third. King Ghetto is away with the leaders in fourth. A length back to Even More Better. Weathered racing in sixth. Mark Hanover. Then comes Richard Lomont, your trailer Best All. They're off the quarter, 27 and 4. They race up the backside. Tough Tank in command by 2. High Five Bluegrass racing in second. A length back to Spend a Dollar in third. Another length back to the free-legged pacer King Ghetto racing in fourth. 3 lengths back and up on the outside. Here comes Mark Hanover. He now flushes cover in King Ghetto. They race for the half. Tough Tank shows the way a length. High Five Bluegrass right there in second on the outside. King Ghetto is first up in third. Spend a Dollar saves ground in fourth. The half 58 seconds. A little more than 3/8 to go. Your leader is Tough Tank and Tony Morgan. A length on the inside. High Five Bluegrass is patient in the pocket. King Ghetto racing in third. Mark Hanover moves up fourth. Spend a Dollar needs racing room from far back. Here comes Richard Lomont. They're in the stretch. Tough Tank, the one to catch, 3/4, 127 and 1. Tough Tank leads, and now winding up from far back. Here comes Richard Lomont. High Five Bluegrass racing in third on the inside and fourth. Spend a Dollar in between horses. It's King Ghetto down the stretch. Here comes High Five Bluegrass on the outside. Richard Lomont. Tough Tank is still there. High Five Bluegrass splitting horses and getting up. Close for second between Richard Lomont and Tough Tank. 155 and 1. Top of the stretch. Picking up speed. Here they come. They're off in the Jimmy Creed. Far outside, it's Only Paper. Left hard for Morgan. On the inside, it's No Control, part of the Joe Anderson entry. On the inside, out of chances, is away third. Here's Pilgrim's Take All is racing in fifth, opening quarter, 27 and 4. 3 lengths back in six is Cafe Racer. Falcon Dakota is on the move for Anderson. Elmer Hurstingy, and at the end is Don't Get in My Way. They race up the backstretch. Your new leader, Pilgrim's Fiery. It's Only Paper racing second, 2 lengths cover. Right in behind him is Falcon Dakota. They go by the half, 56 and 2. Pilgrim's Fiery leads leads a length. On the inside, it's only Paper second. Out of chances. On the outside, gains third. Take all. Poised for McGee in fourth. On the inside, it's No Control. And third over into the stretch, it's Falcon Dakota. They turn for home. It's Pilgrim's Fiery, your leader. It's only Paper, still patient in the pocket. On the outside, it's Out of Chances. 3/4, 125 in one. In mid-stretch, Pilgrim's Fiery leads. Here comes Falcon Dakota. It's only Paper. The Jimmy Creed handicap, it's only Paper second. 150, 2 and 3. Close for third. Here they come. They're off. Lake Kills Mike on the outside, showing early foot in between horses. Here's Silky Flight, and down along the rail, TJ Anthony comes through. Silky Flight for Joel Smith to the top. TJ Anthony racing in second. Lake Kills Mike up on the rim in third. Schoolboy is away fourth. No Charge to Don racing in fifth. A length back to Dutch Sting racing in sixth. Park Lane Royalty is seventh. Row Pro reserved in eighth. Mighty Fine Magic and Marengo Ace. They're off the quarter, 28 and 2. And from the outside, Lake Kills Mike clears for Hostetler. Here comes No Charge to Don. No Charge to Don. Pacing on by. Now takes the lead. Lake Kills Mike racing second. Silky Flight is third. TJ Anthony racing in fourth. Dutch Sting is off the rail. First up from Wayne Moore. And now flushes cover in Silky Flight. Right in behind him is Park Lane Royalty. On the inside, Saving Ground Schoolboy. Row Pro is fourth over as they go by the half. 58 and 2. Around the far turn, No Charge to Don. Leads the way, Silky Flight on the attack for Joel Smith. Dutch Sting moves up for Wayne Moore in third. Lake Hills Mike is gapping his cover and dropping back. Park Lane Royalty moves up in sixth. Around the turn, No Charge to Don leads the way by 2.5. Silky Flight trying to get at him. 3/4, 128 and 1. 3/16 out. No Charge to Don is under fire. On the outside, Silky Flight. Dutch Sting racing third, and now rallying up the inside. Here's Park Lane Royalty. Silky Flight takes the lead. Park Lane Royalty flying on the inside. Park Lane Royalty getting up in the final strides. Close for second, Silky Flight and or Dutch Sting.